Somewhere out on the cracked black soil plains of Central Australia lives a snake that carries, in a single bite, enough venom to kill around 100 adult human beings. Drop for drop, it is the most toxic venom of any land snake on the entire planet. More potent than the cobra, more potent than the mamba, more potent than anything that slithers on dry land anywhere on Earth. By the numbers, it is the deadliest snake alive, a creature whose bite should be a death sentence, delivered 100 times over. And here is the fact that should stop you cold. The fact that turns this from a monster story into something far stranger. As far as anyone can confirm, this snake has never killed a single human being. Not 100, not one. The most lethal serpent on the face of the planet, the holder of a venom so extreme it sounds made up, has a body count of 0. In the entire documented history of encounters between this snake and our species, not one has ended in a human death. And once you understand why, you will never again trust the word deadliest the way you did a minute ago. Because the story of this snake is not the story of the most dangerous animal in Australia. It is the story of how the most lethal thing in nature can also be one of the most harmless, and how those two ideas, which sound like they cannot both be true, are hiding a truth about danger itself that almost nobody gets right. Let's meet it. The animal is the inland taipan, Oxyuranus microlepidotus, and almost everything about it works against the reputation its venom has earned. It lives in one of the most remote and unforgiving corners of the continent, the semi-arid floodplains where Queensland meets South Australia, a region called the Channel Country, a place of deep cracking clay and blistering heat where very few people ever set foot. This is a landscape of extremes, even by Australian standards. A vast, flat, sun-hammered expanse of gray and black cracking soil that floods in rare wet years and bakes bone dry for long stretches in between, threaded by the shallow channels that give the region its name. It is the kind of place you can drive through for hours without seeing another soul, and it is precisely the kind of emptiness in which the deadliest snake on Earth has been able to live. For as long as it has existed, almost entirely out of our way. It is a slender, unremarkable-looking snake, a couple of meters long, and it does something that sounds almost whimsical for an animal so lethal, it changes color with the seasons. In the cold months it darkens, turning nearly black to soak up every scrap of warmth from the weak winter sun. In the punishing heat of summer, it fades to a paler, lighter shade, to reflect the worst of it away. It is a snake that quite literally changes its clothes according to the thermometer, dressing dark to gather heat and pale to shed it, tuning its own body to the brutal swings of desert temperature. And its temperament is the final surprise. Despite an old nickname, the fierce snake, a name that refers only to its venom and never to its mood, the inland taipan is shy, secretive, and remarkably reluctant to bite. Confronted, it would far rather flee down a crack in the earth than stand and fight. The people who have worked with it describe a nervous, retiring animal, one that spends the hottest part of the day sheltering deep in the soil cracks and in the abandoned burrows of the very rodents it hunts, emerging to feed in the cooler hours and wanting above all to be left alone. So we already have a paradox taking shape. The most venomous land snake in the world is a reclusive, retiring, color-shifting animal living where almost no human ever goes. To understand how that paradox holds together, we have to start with that terrifying number and be honest about what it actually means. Because the claim that one bite can kill 100 people is true, and also deeply misleading, and the gap between those two things is the whole point. That number does not come from 100 people ever dying. It comes from a laboratory measure called the LD50, the median lethal dose, which is worked out by determining how much venom it takes to kill half of a group of test mice, and then scaling that figure up to human body weight. It is a useful laboratory number, a clean way to rank one venom against another under identical conditions. But it was never meant to describe a real event in the world, and it quietly assumes a great deal. That every drop of venom is delivered, that all of it reaches the bloodstream, that nothing is ever treated, that the arithmetic of mice scales neatly onto people. By that measure, the venom in a single taipan bite, spread across 100 adults, would on paper be enough to kill them all. Sometimes the figure is even given in the language it was actually measured in. enough venom in a single bite to kill something on the order of 200,000 mice. But notice what that figure is and is not. It is a measure of pure toxicity, of how lethal the venom is, molecule for molecule, under controlled conditions. It is not a measure of how dangerous the animal is to you, standing in a field, in the real world. And those two things, toxicity and danger, are not the same, not even close, and confusing them is the single most common mistake people make about venomous animals. Here is the proof. The snakes that actually kill the most human beings on Earth are not the most venomous ones at all. Across South Asia, species like the saw-scaled viper and Russell's viper kill tens of thousands of people every single year, a staggering, quiet epidemic of death. And their venom, drop for drop, is a fraction as potent as the taipans. They are far less venomous, and yet vastly more dangerous. Because danger is not just about how toxic your venom is, it is toxicity multiplied by everything else. How often you encounter people, how aggressive you are, how densely you live alongside them, how likely you are to bite, and whether the people you share ground with can reach medical help in time. A venom can be middling in potency and still be the most prolific killer on the planet if its owner is aggressive, abundant, and living in the middle of a human population. The saw-scaled viper is dangerous because it lives in fields where millions of barefoot people work, and it bites readily. The taipan is the deadliest snake by venom and the safest by circumstance, and it is, quite literally, the textbook case of why deadliest is a word that hides more than it reveals. The taipan sits at the very top of one list, the list of pure venom potency, and almost at the very bottom of the one that actually matters to a human being, the list of snakes that kill people. Those two lists are not the same list, and the taipan is the clearest illustration on the planet of just how far apart they can be. So the number is real, the danger is not. And to see why an animal would evolve a weapon so absurdly, wastefully lethal, that it will never once use it on the thing it could kill 100 of, you have to look at what that weapon was actually built for. And the answer is rats. The inland taipan is a specialist, and its specialty is mammals, small furry mammals, and above all the rodents that erupt across its harsh homeland. The Channel Country is a land of extremes, of long dry emptiness broken by sudden floods, and when the rains come and the vegetation booms, the rodent populations of the interior explode with them, rats multiplying into plagues that surge across the plains in numbers almost beyond counting, and then, as the land dries again, crashing back to almost nothing. It is a feast and famine world, and the taipan is built to exploit the feast with ruthless efficiency, gorging when the rodents are everywhere, and enduring the lean years when they all but vanish. The taipan evolved to feast in that boom, and to hunt these rodents in a very particular and very unforgiving way, down in the cracks and burrows of the earth, in tight, enclosed spaces where there is no room for error. And that confinement is the key to everything. Picture the problem from the snake's point of view. You are hunting a rat in a narrow tunnel, underground, in the dark. A rat is not defenseless. It has teeth that can seriously injure or even kill you if the fight drags on. If you bite it, and it does not die almost immediately, it can turn and tear at you in that enclosed space, or it can scramble away into the dark to die somewhere you will never find it, and your meal, and the energy you spent on it, are simply gone. In a harsh land where food arrives in unpredictable pulses and every calorie counts, losing a meal you have already fought for is a genuine threat to survival. In that scenario, evolution rewards one thing above all others: speed of kill. A venom that drops a mammal not in minutes, but in seconds. A venom so overwhelmingly catastrophically effective against mammalian physiology that the prey has no time to fight back and no chance to flee. And that is exactly what the taipan built. Its venom is a precision-engineered anti-mammal weapon, and it is loaded with two kinds of horror working in concert. The first is a powerful neurotoxin called taipoxin, which attacks the junctions where nerves meet muscles, silencing them, shutting down the body's ability to move and ultimately, to breathe, in a creeping paralysis that works its way through the body until the muscles that drive the lungs themselves begin to fail. The second is among the most potent blood-clotting poisons found in any snake on Earth, a procoagulant that hijacks the victim's own clotting system and throws it into chaos. using it up until the blood can no longer clot at all. Paralysis and blood collapse, delivered together, fast enough to kill a struggling rat before it can so much as turn its head. That is what the Taipan's impossible venom is for. It was never designed to kill 100 people. It was designed to kill one rat, instantly, with a margin of overkill so vast that 100 people is simply the accidental arithmetic of how far that overkill reaches. The snake gains nothing from being able to kill 100 humans. That capacity is simply what falls out as a byproduct of tuning a weapon to annihilate a rat with total certainty in the space of a single heartbeat. Our own terrible vulnerability to this venom is not the point of the weapon. It is a side effect. We are collateral, killed on paper by a molecule that was only ever aiming at a rodent, and that has no interest in us whatsoever, for the simple reason that we happen to share the basic mammalian machinery it was built to switch off. There is a strange kind of intimacy in that. The very thing that makes us so easy for this venom to kill, our warm-blooded mammalian bodies, is the same thing that makes a rat easy to kill, and the snake cannot tell the difference between the two, because at the molecular level it has targeted, there barely is one. Which brings us finally to the heart of the paradox, the reason the deadliest snake on Earth has a body count of 0. It is almost absurdly simple. The inland taipan lives where human beings do not. Its home, the black soil country of the far interior, is one of the emptiest, most isolated landscapes in an already sparsely populated continent, a place of searing heat and cracked earth, where there are no towns, no farms of barefoot workers, almost nobody to bite. The most venomous snake in the world and the human species almost never occupy the same ground, and the times they do are almost always because a person has gone looking for the snake. For most of the time, our two species have coexisted on this continent. The inland taipan was so rarely seen that it was practically a mystery to science, known from a couple of specimens in the 19th century, and then effectively lost for almost 90 years before it was rediscovered and properly studied. That is how far out of our way it lives. Nearly every recorded inland taipan bite has been suffered by a herpetologist, a snake handler, or a keeper, someone who deliberately picked the animal up, and there have only ever been a handful. And every one of those people survived, because an effective antivenom exists, developed decades ago and kept ready for exactly these rare encounters. In other words, the only people the deadliest snake on Earth has ever sunk its fangs into are the tiny number who chose to handle it on purpose, and even they walked away, saved by a vial of medicine. There is no grim toll of farmers and travelers and children, the kind that trails the truly dangerous snakes of the world. There is only a short list of specialists who knew exactly what they were holding. Think about how completely that dismantles the monster. The animal is not aggressive, it flees. It does not live near us. It hides in the emptiest place on the continent. It almost never bites, and when it does, we have the cure. Every single factor that turns a venomous animal into a genuine killer of humans, the taipan lacks, save for the one that makes headlines: the raw, theoretical potency of the venom itself. It is as if nature built the most powerful gun imaginable, and then handed it to the shyest, most reclusive creature it could find, and hid them both in a desert where no one would ever walk. The result is a weapon of 100 deaths that has never taken one, and that is the real story of the inland taipan, the one the kill count headline completely misses. It is not the most dangerous animal in Australia. It is not even close. The saltwater crocodile, the one that has actually ruled these lands, kills people. The taipan, for all its record-shattering venom, does not, and almost certainly never will in any numbers, because everything about how it lives keeps it and us apart. What it really is the sharpest lesson in nature about the difference between two words we carelessly treat as the same. Lethal is not the same as dangerous. A weapon is only as deadly as the hand that carries it and the world it moves through. And the most lethal weapon in the animal kingdom belongs to one of its gentlest, most avoidant, most invisible owners. Strip away the sensational headline, and what remains is almost the opposite of a monster. A nervous desert animal that changes color with the weather, hunts rats in the cracked ground, and asks for nothing more than to be left undisturbed in the emptiest place on the continent. The inland taipan is proof that the thing with the most terrifying capacity for harm can be, in practice, one of the safest animals you could ever share a continent with, and that the labels we slap on nature, deadliest, most venomous, most lethal, are so often measuring the wrong thing entirely. They measure what an animal could do, in a vacuum, to a body on a scale. They say almost nothing about what it will do, out here, in the world it actually lives in. It could kill 100 of us with a single bite. It has killed none. It carries the deadliest weapon on the continent and has spent its entire existence avoiding the one chance to use it on us. And it would much rather you never found it at all. But that same brutal, empty interior, the country too harsh and remote for almost anything to matter to us, hides another master of survival, and this one solved a problem even more fundamental than how to kill. In a place where standing water can vanish for months, and the heat alone can kill, there is a small, spiny lizard that has done something no other animal on Earth can do. It does not need to find water to drink. It pulls the water it needs out of the very sand it stands on, drawing it up its own legs and across its skin, straight to its mouth, defying almost everything we thought we knew about how a body holds onto water in a place that has none. They call it the thorny devil, and how it does this is one of the strangest pieces of engineering in the entire animal world.